This place is crazy in a good way.
It is. It's really cool.
I mean, it was just hard to climb over everything.
Yeah.
I call it aerobic shopping. Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. I promise we're going to dive right into this amazing estate sale. I will warn you that it is one of the more bizarre yet exciting estate sales I've ever been to. And we did unearth a lot of amazing and unique treasures at dirt cheap prices. But it's important to note that the former homeowner was an Undertaker who, let's just say, had some skeletons in his closet. Let's check it out.
Freezer that they had somehow managed to block off, and it quit working for the most part. It basically kind of cooled things at best. And my dad worked for the USDA inspection office, so he had tons of excellent cuts of meat that he would get for dirt cheap, and then open that thing up and oh man.
You on video, I just want to capture a little bit of what this looks like so people can understand that it's not, that estate sales are not glamorous things that you need to avoid. You know,
No,
they
you
are,
only
sometimes
hear
you're
about
climbing
that.
trash.
You hear about that one.
Do you really
find,
want to be
which
on
is
YouTube?
1 out of a million.
Okay, this young lady volunteered to be on. She's got her bag, good shopping etiquette, especially in a place like this, because you don't want to make a trip to the whole pile every 5 minutes. Very tight quarters in here, but not quite as tight as inside the coffin might be. But you can see that it would be very difficult to capture everything in this place. But I'm going to share what I find later. So I'm in the back of this closet, digging around, and look who's in here. You cannot make that up. Awesome. Gonna dig some more. So this place is nuts, and there was a guy climbing on this pile of trash earlier. Much braver than I am. I think he was trying to get over there. Pretty sure he collects World War II stuff. But no one's in here now, so I can capture the picker life. Gotta love it. Okay. Mark. That unicorn's cool. This place is wild. We already went in there. We already went in here, but you know there's stuff in there still. And this is where we found the ornaments. Okay. I have not picked this, and I don't think I'm going to, but they did say that the hearse is for sale. Not that I'm interested in that, but wild.
I wish that would be.
This is so beautiful, like this sort of like untamed or reclaimed beauty. I feel like I'm in like, I don't know, Scotland or Wales, and like a church is
I
being...
love when nature takes over.
Nature is definitely taking over. Look at this beautiful, oh my goodness. This place is like a movie set. Like these cobwebs don't even look real. Look at that mirror, Art Deco. Very cool. So I'm in the basement. I didn't spend a lot of time down here, but I guess some people found some really cool stuff. Like sort of like medical stuff maybe. Old leather. Not sure exactly what types, but I'll definitely show you guys all the stuff I found. I can't pick and film with my phone, so I have to take clips to show you what I'm looking at, and I'll just show you what I found later. Someone bought the coffin, so now you can move around. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Okay.
Candy. just want to capture this light.
It is unbelievable.
It is crazy. Oh, interesting.
I said bring it downstairs and give me a price for it.
Wow. So this is just the first installment of the haul from yesterday's wild adventure at the Death Pile Shocker Dirt Cheap estate sale with the Coffin. I think this is what I got my first round through, and I think I paid about $60 for everything on this table. If I find amazing comps, I'll insert them for you, but I'll just walk you through what I got. So I got these outside. I had kind of written off the yard, but when I walked around the side, there was a little bit of footage of this. There was like this garden with all this ivy, and these were hanging on the cast iron fence. And pardon my laryngitis, I didn't want to wait for this video, but it makes my voice a little bit hoarse. I feel like I should be doing jazz radio at 2 a.m. or something. So these are really cool. Cast iron cell screen. What I like about these pieces is they're small enough to ship. I don't think they'll fit in a large flat rate box, but boy, are they close. I always get these art pottery mugs. I actually don't know who made these yet. But this one says Super Banker and it has this goofy face on it. I like these whimsical type of pottery pieces. And then this one just has a silly face on it. So I got those pretty early on through the haul. And again, things did get kind of mixed in here and there because I had to fit them in the van. I think these were on the first floor, and I kind of passed them up a few times. They're not a huge money maker, but they were so sweet and different with the white and gold. So I grabbed those. I actually have 3 packs of these Coca-Cola coasters. They do sell in my booth. Coca-Cola stuff sells well if you pick the right stuff. There's a lot of newer plastic, quote, collectible, end quote, Coca-Cola stuff, and I feel for me it is not collectible or valuable. I got this pencil sharpener. I think it's Commonwealth Picker always picks these up. And again, I'm just buying a large quantity of stuff for $60. So when I find something that I remember from one of the YouTubers I watch, I'll grab it because I know I'm just going to get a price on the pile. It doesn't matter that much. I got all of these apothecary bottles. Now this one might be more like a decanter. I'm not sure. It might even be for wine and you put ice in the center section. I'm not sure. But that was really cool. I've never seen that one. And to find this many apothecary bottles in good condition is really, excuse me, really, really rare. So I grabbed those. They sell well in my booth. And I also have a friend who buys those locally. I grabbed this because I just thought it was really cool to put in your garden. It's a little farm fresh. I mean, there's spider web still attached. But I do like unicorns. I grew up in the 80s, so this little frame was cute. It's just a little postcard or print or something. Hold on, noisy car going by. I wanted to capture this haul as soon as possible before things got mixed in. This is not a very valuable piece, but I thought it would be cool for someone to corral, I don't know, coupons or Post-its or something, and I just like the look of it. This box is kind of dry rotted, but the Hearst gyroscope. For some reason, I always buy these. I think because my dad is sort of fascinated with them, and so I always buy them. And you know I love the original box. It has the original directions. The box has seen better days, but I still can't resist. There were some spurs, which is interesting. There were a lot of unique items at this sale. That was early on. I'm wondering if later in the sale, if I might not have bought the spurs, just, you know, with all the other things that were there. And all the things I bought, obviously. I actually have a lamp like this. I've forgotten the name of it, but I believe this is paper mache, and it lights up, and it's so beautiful. We have one in our foyer, and I love it so much. I bought it for my friend Lisa, actually, at the Antique Depot in Ellicott City, Maryland. I always buy old phones, and this one was different. I feel like, is this something someone takes up on a pole, like a telephone worker? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I haven't looked up this book or this toy yet. I thought this cane was really cool. They do sell in my booth. Ironically, they sell in my booth to young people who don't need a cane, but want to look distinguished. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of tins, but this one is really, really cool. And I believe this is like an Art Deco era tin. I like this belt buckle, and this belt has like kind of like the right amount of distressing. So I bought that. These mittens were cool. These, to me, these look like military issue. I do not know. I know nothing. I wish I had my Geiger counter just in case. Oh, that's interesting. I don't understand that. Maybe so they fit different sized hands? I don't get it. Someone tell me what's that. What is that about? All thumbs? I don't get it. There's a joke in there. Okay. Military stuff sells in the booth. This one has a cool Fiji patch on it. I don't know anything about that. I think it's, oh yeah, it's actually from Fiji. It's not just a patch from Fiji. Interesting. And look at these combat boots. Now again, I haven't looked up any of this stuff, but if you are a reseller, or even if you decorate with these things, I think you can agree that $60 just for this batch is really, really good. I'll put some screenshots in with whatever I have found. Okay, so really quick before I go inside for the other stuff, I got these two terracotta wall planters. This one looks like it might have had a repair, but it was hanging on the wall, so I guess it's pretty stable. I thought those were really cool, really cool. And I got, this is not a printer's box, but it's made to look like one, or a printer's drawer for like knickknacks. I think this was in the kitchen behind the door. When I make my final rounds, I do things like I look up towards the ceiling, in the rafters if I'm in the basement or the attic, garage, and I look behind doors because people miss stuff there. These always sell well for me because people want to display collections of things. And this is a pretty big one. And actually it's a pretty nice one too. I like that the shelves or little pockets are a little bit deeper than your typical printer's drawer would be. All right, inside for more. Okay, so here is part 2 of the haul. And at this point, I've lost track of when I picked these items up. I was at this estate sale for 3 hours, so it's a little bit of a blur. And I've been fighting this cold, so I'm sure I was a little bit foggy to begin with. But I was really happy with how I did, and I actually felt pretty good during, so that worked out. I haven't looked up any of this stuff either, although some I have some knowledge of. Oh, I might have looked up a couple of the books, but I haven't looked up this shirt. But one of my favorite YouTubers, Jack Valentine, I just thought of him when I saw this. This is a very large shirt, but I think it would fit a lot of people, which is cool. And this particular person cut out all the tags, so I don't know who the maker is. I'm not sure if it's vintage or not. I haven't checked any of that stuff yet. But Halloween, always, yes. You know, I did take a minute to kind of look up this Coca-Cola flatware. You guys know that I like to buy flatware sets, and this one does have some value, maybe like $50 for the set. Maybe I'll sell it with this, even though I think this might be modern, so I'll have to double check, because online, which is where I'd probably sell that, I need it to be vintage for Etsy. So anyway, so that's kind of cool. They had some Coca-Cola stuff, like I said. Another piece of art pottery. I love mugs like this. I just love the glaze. It reminds me of Bill Campbell. That's not a Bill Campbell piece. He tends to have more of a glaze, and his glazes are just incredible. You know, I always buy these. Do they sell well? Not terribly well, but I love them. These little they're cookie cutters, but you could use them for little sandwiches or whatever you want. Cassettes are selling in my booth, so I can't help myself when I see them. And I used to love Sinead O'Connor, and with her recent passing, I thought they were a good choice. And again, I don't know, I might have paid $30 or something for this. Things got a little bit mixed up, so it's hard to say exactly how much I paid for this quantity. I know that at the sale, I spent a total of $150, but I still have more to show you. So yeah. Okay, so I got these little kind of like easels for the booth. Anything you have for sale in your booth, for some reason, it looks so much better propped up. They're also good for photographing, so I do grab those when I see them. CDs are selling in my booth for, I'm gonna say, $6 to $10 a piece. So I remember I was at a sale recently and someone laughed at me for buying CDs, and I have sold almost all of them. You know, I made that mistake too. A year or two ago, I sold a bunch of our own CDs for like maybe $1 a piece, and I could have put them in my own booth. I just didn't know there was a market at the time. So you learn as you go, you know. I actually bought this lock for the gym. So that's not a resale item. I haven't looked this up, but I think this is a locksmith set. I really don't know. I thought it was like one of those tools you keep in your junk drawer so you'd always have the right screwdriver. But then I was like, I've never seen that. I'm just going to buy it. These boots looked cool right away. They were in the same closet. Oh, look. Hold on. I don't know why there was a flyer in there. I looked inside them to be sure because I don't buy and sell a lot of cowboy boots. But this is a name that I'm familiar with. The YouTubers I watch often buy boots by this maker, and I think they will sell well in the booth. They need a little bit of cleaning and oiling, but they're going to look great after. This box looked cool. I've never had one before. It's like a lacquer box. Just a trinket box, kind of. I'm not really sure what it was for. See how it's slanted? Maybe you guys know. I grabbed a lanyard because I think it'll sell in the booth if we don't keep it here. They had a lot of like mythical creature stuff, so I got this unicorn book. I did look that up. I don't think it had a great value to it. This book might. I actually couldn't find this exact copy, but I'll throw up a comp for what I did find about this book. And then when I saw Advanced D&D Monster Manual, I was on board. This is from 1979, and that does have some value that I will throw up on the screen for you in a screenshot. And now we're on to round 3. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Somehow I skipped these. So for years I made mistakes and bought silver plate thinking it was sterling. And then for years I stopped buying silver plate because it wasn't sterling and I knew better. And now sometimes I still buy silver plate. I'm pretty sure they're silver plate. I don't know if these are too far gone, but sometimes I buy silver plate because these pieces, people are trying to replace a few pieces from a set they've had in their family for generations or years at least. And so sometimes these I actually bought by accident, but I kept them in the haul because I wanted to just have that teachable moment for you guys that if you find a large quantity of silver plate pieces in good condition, especially flatware, not necessarily servingware, there is a market for it on platforms like Etsy for people who want to replace some dinner knives, for example, that have been lost. These I bought by accident. Again, just a little teachable moment for you about silver plate versus sterling. Okay, guys, I have to sneak this in here. I just found one more bag of stuff from that sale that I had set aside, and there are a couple of important pieces to keep your eyes out for. Now, these are all included in the total of $150, and a couple of these have some good value. Now, some things that do not have great value, but I still picked up, just taking a chance, again, making a big pile. This little tin, this menthol camphor, this stuff sells in my booth. People like to decorate, make an apothecary type cabinet with stuff like that. Maybe someone might want to use it. I don't know. I just tossed it in my bag. I thought maybe that these coasters were sterling. They are not. They're silver plate, so they have even less value. People don't tend to use this type of coaster that much, but because there are 8 and they're a matching set, I think I might get 25 or 30 if I want to list them on Etsy, which I sort of don't. So I might toss them up on Facebook at a cheaper price and just see if someone might want them for the holidays. It's a set of 8. We'll see. Again, I took a chance because I was buying a lot of stuff. This unicorn tin, this 80s type stuff is back. I grew up with this and probably would have loved this tin. I'm going to clean it up. I looked up a comp and I think it was about $20 online. So I don't think I'm going to list it online because I roll my shipping into my prices and offer free shipping. And it just can't make enough profit, I don't think, on this. If I'm going to price it around $20 and ship it, it's just not going to work out for me to make much profit. And I prefer to sell stuff like that in my booth and not worry about shipping. But still, stuff to look for, the rainbows, the unicorns. This is actually vintage. It has beautiful crazing. Oops, sorry. And I do like mugs like this. You know, I like single mugs. And this one might be like potentially a shaving mug. You can see that it needs to be cleaned. Yep, farm fresh. I was surprised. I'm going to throw up a comp on this. I was surprised at how much it was worth. I figured it would sell for, I don't know, 15 to 20 in the booth. Here we have another copper humidor. Now the comps may be changed or I looked on a different platform, which is really interesting. So it's a little bit lower than that last time, but I think I was looking on one of the more pricey platforms last time. I didn't actually find this one, and I think this one might be identical to that one I found a month or two back in the Thief Caught on Video. But anyway, still good value, especially when you account for the fact that I've only spent $150 on everything I've showed you. So this will probably sell for about $20 locally or in the booth. I always buy thermometers. This one is a super cool sort of mid-century Art Deco, like 1950s style. I love everything about it. So I think that will sell well locally. Not hugely valuable, but worth taking a chance. Now, some of you might recognize this. It's like a little secret treasure box, but this is Hellraiser. Perfect for the theme, right? And lastly, and also perfect for the theme, I got 2 of these casket plates. These are like emblems that you would mount on a casket. I did not know what they were. Not exactly. I got some help from someone at the estate sale and also from my friend Joel. Shout out to Joel and his amazing Etsy shop, Curiosity Antiques. Thanks again, Joel, for being there for me. He always is. And I have learned so much from him and bought so many great things from his shop. You guys should check it out. So I have to squeeze this one in. I have no idea which part of the haul we're on, but I didn't want to leave this stuff out because I knew you guys could learn something from it. Okay, here's the final installment. And this one's the most important actually because I bought something on instinct that turned out to be good, which I'll go over with you guys. So my last time around, I noticed that this, I believe it's Mucha. It looks like Mucha. There's the signature. I believe that this actually is a vintage print by the famous artist. And look at that frame. So initially I was like, oh, that's just a print, whatever. But when I noticed, sorry, I'm trying to show you, but the glare is pretty bad. The detail on the frame, I realized that this is probably a vintage print and then probably worth picking up just for the frame, if nothing else. Okay. Like I said, they had really diverse things in this sale. So I also grabbed this. I think this might have been close to my last time through. Again, I was there for 3 hours. And I feel that someone who's Wiccan maybe might really like this. The Charge of the Goddess. Very interesting. And look at the back. So that tells me that that is also at least somewhat vintage. I don't know how vintage. Haven't looked it up. Throw up a screenshot if I find it. Again, $150 for everything is well worth it, especially when you see what I found. So this is like an icon, a print of an icon. I haven't researched anything about it. Again, the frame drew my attention because I think it's a vintage piece. Maybe the cardboard was replaced, but I feel like that will sell well in my booth or online. And that frame is really, really nice. So I did get a lot of books. They were so heavy. I had to make so many trips to the car. Now, some of them are really beat, but I do still think some will sell in my booth because people are looking for like the content and maybe the mystique of it. Maybe they're going to make something out of it. And then if it's a rare book, which some of these are, then they really want the book, you can list it online. So I will still buy them for the booth if I like the content enough. So I haven't looked any of these up except for some on the other side of the table, which I'll go over with you. I don't often buy antique books like this anymore, like prose and poetry. They don't sell for as much as you think, but this one just looked so nice. I liked that cover. And then this cover is striking, but obviously kind of sad, but I haven't seen that book before, so I grabbed that. Another sort of Wiccan book. This fairy book was very, very popular, still is very popular. And a lot of tattoo artists like this because of the amazing images. Some of them are disturbing in a way, but some of the images are just really, really cool of fairies and other creatures. And I like the title of this, A Fantastic Bestiary. Now this was an old library book, which isn't great, but again, like a tattoo artist, someone who wants to make something, decoupage or, right? There's the Ouroboros. Oh my gosh. X-Files fans. Scully must have had this book at her fingertips somewhere. Another apothecary jar. I like books like this, like vintage photography books. They're just really interesting to me. Haven't looked it up. I bought this for the frame, not for what's in it. I don't think that that's a very vintage print, but these swinging frames can do quite well online. They're really cool. This is a vintage Baltimore book from the 50s, which I think will sell on Facebook. I don't buy a lot of photographs anymore unless they really strike me, and this one had a reverse painted Art Deco frame, so I did grab this. And I got this one too. I couldn't help it because I just thought these little darlings were so cute. I mean, does this child have a cigar in its mouth? I don't know. And is this from another country? Don't know, but love the image anyway. Again, mythical creatures, cool stuff. I think this is like a watch chain. It might be gold filled. I don't think it's gold. Boy, I wish it were. More coasters. Remember I found some. Again, I'm going to throw up screenshots. I like stuff like this. Just someone out there has a 1956 Cadillac, you know, and wants the book. A witchcraft book. I couldn't help myself. This is sealed, but a little bit beat, so sort of not sealed. So that might be like a $25 piece. Now this caught my eye. This was like a portfolio / like briefcase, and I couldn't help it. I wanted to see what was in it. And it was like these really super goth, kind of dark magazines from, I think, the 90s. And so I started looking them up, and I saw one that was worth $75, and some I couldn't even find. They were kind of obscure, but this particular copy, I'm going to throw up the screenshot. Now, I do not have confirmation for sure what this is worth. It has a tiny bit of damage, but when I saw that comp, I said, oh, I guess I better investigate these magazines a little bit further before I list them or just toss them in the booth. They do have really interesting photographs, most of which you could show on YouTube. But anyway, that Carpe Noctem, the first edition, first volume 1, is really the winner from this sale. Because remember, I spent $150 on everything. So if that sells for even a fraction of that, that will be profit for me, not to mention all these other items. So thanks for joining me on this extensive journey. I'm glad I got some footage for you guys from inside and kept my hands free so I could grab all this cool stuff quickly. Well, maybe not that quickly, 3 hours, right? Hopefully you guys will hit some sales this winter. You'll find some great stuff. You'll pay yourself well for your time, but most importantly, you'll remember to never stop searching. I'll see you guys next time.